Good afternoon, everybody in YouTube land. No matter where you be sitting here and watching, Wolfie Whispers transfer updates, and I've got a good friend in Hot Fuzz with me. Let's get into this after the intro. Big up all. Good Saturday afternoon to everyone in YouTube land. Hope you're well. Big up Hot Fuzz. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right, personally. I can't say the same for other English fans out there for in the footballing world, because last night was a thing, was an experience. You could say it's like lying on one of them tables. They strap up all your limbs and they stretch you out.
Yeah.
Just stretch you until your limbs get ripped off. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. It's a medieval torture device. Is that what you're trying to say with Gareth Southgate's management? Well,
Yeah.
you wouldn't find me disagreeing, to be honest. I remember when he managed Middlesbrough to a UEFA Cup final and they got hammered in the final by Sevilla. That was amazing. I think it was 4-0, wasn't it? Or something like that. But yeah. Just a quick shout out to everyone that's popped in and out already. Hey, Wolfie, how you doing, Chelsea fans? Let me whisper in your ear and tell you a whole lot of transfer rumours you might like to hear. Any of you wait to see my list. Oh, yo, wait till you my list. Oh, it up. All right. Big up DJ Crane.
Creative with the lyrics.
Big up the Whitney Houston of YouTube. Donna. I heard your singing the other day. That was quite hilarious. Now, before I start nattering all about all the crappy Chelsea news, because there's quite a few crappy things and there's a lot to get into about in terms of the rumours. But was there any significant transfer news you would like to share and maybe give me a little edge on ways on there, Fuzzy? What's the stories coming out of United right now?
On the player front, it's I think there's a few things going on at the moment. A few things in the pipelines. I think in terms of players coming in, it's sort of trying to figure out, what preferred choices there are, where the intention lies with a lot of the players or targets that we have, because we've got so many positions that we want to fill out with getting players for. It's just a case of what budgets you got, who's going out to increase your budgets, and how much do you want to spend per position, per signing. Which planning a summer like that is always going to be really difficult, because clubs nowadays like to oversell their assets. Like somebody who can kick a ball in the right direction by about 5 yards, immediately that warrants £100 million on the market value, which it doesn't. It really, really doesn't. So I think for a lot of players in that market, bring them prices down if you actually fancy selling your assets to make money at your football clubs, rather than pricing people out. Thank you very much. But with players coming in, I think the biggest stories at the moment are centre-back related. A lot of different names being touted. I think with my previous show that I did last night, I mentioned 3 names. I think it was Yoro, Todibo, and somebody else. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, there were three names in those regards. But then there's also, picking up steam today, the news about Jared Branthwaite. Talks between like 70 to 80 million is what Everton want to talk about. It's the money that they want, but given that Everton's dire financial situation, I mean, can they really afford to sit there and not sell players while you're sitting there and saying, oh, but we want this amount? Well, you need to sell them. But we want this amount, but you need to sell them. But we want this amount, but you need to sell them. So it's not really going to budge for Everton. Eventually, I think everybody knows they're going to have to make the compromise in order to actually sell the player, get the money into the club, and sort out their money troubles. Sort out the problems going on over in their camp. So maybe there is a more of a case of a waiting game / power play by buying clubs, on Everton's turf. Whether it's Man United that get in first and do the deal for Branthwaite is yet to be seen.
Would you take Onana from them?
Amadou Onana. I think compared to midfielders already got, I would take him. But if there were options with terms of like other players to sign in those positions, then there probably would end up being a couple of other names within the realms of possibility that I may end up going for. But it just depends on who those names there are genuine targets for the club and who they identify. Because what's new today may not be news tomorrow, and what isn't news today may be news tomorrow. So it's just one of those things that we have to see where it is the focus shifts to. But as of today, with Amadou Onana being an option, would I take him right here, right now? I would. So
we're getting a few people drop into the chat again. Mr. Donna's back. Mr. Simon, I'm very sad today. People in the chat say I'm stalker and I'm scary. You tell me if I ever stalked anyone and done anything scary. Why are you asking me like I know you intimately and like I know you? Okay, you've never stalked or scared me personally. I can only speak for my own self. No. Okay. A bit of an awkward one. Wolf Whispers and the Choco Destroyer. Big up DJ Gray. Wagwan Mr. Hot Fuzz 44 says Donna. We don't care about Man United, says Danny Boy.
Suck it, Danny. There's a stream with the Man United and Chelsea. You're forced to listen.
There you go. Mr. Simon, is Hot Fuzz your friend? Well, obviously, he is indeed Hot Fuzz. Okay. Danny Boy says, big up Wolfie and Hot Fuzz. There you go.
Suck it for big ups.
Yeah. Mr. Hot Fuzz says, Mr. Donna says, I like your voice, Fuzzy. It sounds sultry. You got a sultry voice, sweetheart. There you go.
Wow.
It's very soothing. I had a headache and went listening to you.
Wow.
I listen to you.
You'll be a first. Most days my voice puts people to sleep.
Look, have you not learned from Ghostbusters, Fuzzy? When someone asks if you're a god, you say yes. You should have just said you're not the only one, Donna. Whales go to sleep listening to my song. I mean the animals, not the country, by the way. Like when I say whales, because some people listen to whale song to go to sleep. The whales listen to Fuzzy when they want to go to sleep. Are you single and available? Not at the moment. He's on stream.
Yeah.
So moving on. Sing a song to Hot. Shut the fuck up, DJ Craig. Don't start none of that here. And besides, if you sing how you did when you sung for Lee, no thank you. I don't want my bloody screen to crack.
Your stream would be shut down.
You're not a stalker.
They have to file it under copyright, but it's going the other way. It's so bad it ends up it becomes a health hazard. Wait,
Danny boy, what do you mean Chelsea not looking well? Ain't gonna lie. What do you mean? Our owner's on the precipice of his 3-year turnover, bro. He's gonna splurge money ridiculously, like he said he was going to. But I'm not being funny, actually. I don't think we're in that much trouble, to be honest. And I'll get into my views on Chelsea in a moment. But one reason why I wanted to ask Fuzzy and speak to him about this, because there's been a lot of grumblings recently about Trashford. Now, I'm not going to make any assumptions. As the United fan and as the person who actually gets into detail about stuff, give me your take on what's going on with Marcus right now, because there's a lot of hot steam about him right now. And I want to get your take on it, because there's all links to why would Arsenal want to buy Marcus Rashford? Like, that was the first thing that dawned in my head.
Helps the PR machine, doesn't it?
What, the English PR you mean? In terms of...
the Arsenal and the English PR machine. The two worlds collide.
Fire away. Go on.
It's like two hurricanes coming together, and it forms the biggest hurricane you've ever seen, a hypercane and stuff. plus in the middle of it, you've also got Sharknado going on, and there's Top
Sharknado.
Gooners.
Oh god!
Instead of sharks, you got Top Gooners and Puppet Journos flying everywhere. So keep your head down. Keep your head down. The mutants are flying around. But with Marcus Rashford, I'm sort of in the camp right now where it's like, for me personally, I know that his time at the club is done. Like, mentally, he looks like he's just checked out of like giving genuinely everything on a football pitch for that club. And whether it comes to the point where it's like that, the thing is, I don't know exactly why he's decided that he just doesn't want to put in effort on the pitch, but everyone's still singing his praises. He's still coming out with PR saying, "Oh, but this is how much I care about the club. Let me post you a picture of me crying after winning the FA Cup." I mean, come on, no one's buying your crocodile tears, right? No one's buying the crocodile tears. Marcus Rashford has spent the best part of the last 3-4 years trying to talk on behalf of 10 Downing Street. Hey, maybe it's actually written in the stars, the politician manager meets the politician player, and then maybe the club then ends up getting board members from the Conservative Party. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, precisely that, but literally, it's like,
sorry.
It's like the stars are aligning quite literally with those guys. So maybe that's the long term.
Tonight, Matthew, I will be Gareth Southgate. If you know, you know.
But yeah, it's like with Rashford, where I think most fans know that his time at the club is done. At the same time, it's like he's not really got the whereabouts as to knowing he has to leave to revitalize his career. He's just comfy. He's sat there. He's got his massive contract. He's got a PR team that practically covers him up in bright shields, and he's shielding from the law essentially. But with Rashford, it's just the case that the club see him as the asset that's valuable. I know that they said already that everybody, no matter how deemed important they are to the project or the club, that for the right price, everybody's for sale. But Marcus Rashford, everyone would think, well, if I were to sign Marcus Rashford today, I'd barely stick about 30-40 million on the table. Whereas Man United will probably want upwards of 80 to 100. Well, we know that Rashford's not going for 80 to 100, so he's not going anywhere. We know that Rashford is going to be staying at Manchester United. Is he a
Sancho Mark II?
I wouldn't necessarily say Sancho Mark II, but its own type of situation where it's like he's very prone to mentally checking out. I think Sancho's had his own reasons for mentally checking out. I know that he's buddies with Rashford quite a bit, but I don't think Rashford dropped the ball because of the Sancho situation. I think that might have been another reason for him to be for God's sakes. One of my best mates is being kicked out of the squads. Like, what's that about? And it's just like Rashford's issues have been going on for longer than that situation, and it comes present from I suppose in terms of his seasonal performances over the past 4 or 5 years, we talk about him having the golden season or the purple patch season, where it's like he couldn't stop scoring for United, finished top goal scorer. That was that being last season. But then the several seasons before that under Ollie, he wasn't performing well, but he was still getting a goal or two here and there. But even then, performances weren't great, but neither was his overall goals contribution. But then it's sort of gone backwards after having a purple patch, and that's when the real head scratcher starts, because it's like people getting frustrated with him beforehand, before he goes on has a great season. Afterwards, it's just like, well, what excuse can we make for you now? There are no excuses left. Now, every time he gets questioned, he has somebody to talk on his behalf to clap back, or he has a statement popped out where it's like, well, yeah, I like everyone's saying, like, I'm literally in a room filled with people that are telling me this one thing that's really wrong with me, right? The sign, like fact-based evidence and everything's telling me there's something wrong with you, mate. And I'm sat there with the microphone in hand saying, no, guys, no, there's nothing wrong with me. You're all just delusional. Like, you're seeing stuff, right? You're seeing ghosts and shit. Like, it's not true. It's not real. Everything's fine. It's all under control. Everybody knows it's not. Like, we could see it from, like, take off rose-tinted glasses, stick a blindfold on, go place yourself in an underground bunker about a mile underground, and you could still see the problems that Rashford has. It's that glaringly obvious. But he's not one to hold his hand up and say, well, yeah, no, this is a serious problem. Because every time I say something, what happens? I'll get another chance in the team, but I don't prove anybody wrong. I literally don't prove anybody wrong. I just
shark bait. It's shark bait. Yeah, I hear what you mean. It's just every time he steps out onto the pitch, it's like a dice with death, because no matter what, there always seems to be a problem. I hear what you're saying. Well, on that, right? Because another thing that keeps on getting brought up for us, and I'm not too sure if there you go. Arnie Slot has a lot to prove. Yes, he does, Danny Boy. And to answer you, Deals, we'll catch up, bro, on the Chelsea stream with us lot when JPT gets back off his honeymoon. So, and big up to him right now. He's on his honeymoon cruise. So, big up to JPT, my fellow Blues brother. I hope he's doing well and enjoying himself. And no, I answer your question. I didn't see his return to Brazil, but I will have a look when I've got some time. Donna says, Wagwan, Mr. Deals. Mr. Simon, when I look up Mr. Hot Fuzz 44, I get lost in his beautiful eyes. Me and you both, mate. Mama Flossie in the building. Big up, man. Hope you're well and all good.
Big up, Mama Flossie.
Mama Flossie gets saying hello from Donna and from Danny Boy. Hello, Donna. Exactly. Chat is not a place for 30 behavior, please. Am I right, Mama Flossie? Now, everyone. Be up. Be nice. No, you should be horrible to anybody. Anyway, big up Steph, says Hot Fuzzy. Big up Mama Flossie. Rashford, just 0 titles, just PR. Well, that's exactly what Fuzzy was just going on about, actually.
Well, actually, he's got loads of titles, Marcus has. Loads and loads and loads of titles. The only titles he has, though, are the ones in the newspapers.
True.
He doesn't have them anywhere else.
Will we watch the Euros this summer? I'm not supporting England for many reasons. More excited Jamaica Copper America. I don't. You know what, mate? When it comes to international, I don't really dig international football that much because there's always too much politics in international football for me. We need more mods like you, Mama Flossie, to keep the discipline in chat. Big up, Mama. Facts, says Danny Boy. Hello, Jaminio. Big up. Hello, Wolf, Fuzzy, and chat. Big up, Jaminio. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, going back to it, right? Now, there's something that did come up, and it's something that's regarding to, obviously, position I think we both need covering and a bit of help in. Goalkeepers. Now, there's been a lot about Trafford coming out of Burnley. You know, they got a young goalkeeper there, Trafford, and we've been linked with him, and apparently people have been bidding for him. Now, obviously, he's 21, and he's still young, and he can still learn a lot. But give me your appraisal in him and how much of a benefit he could be to someone like United.
Well, he's got a great YouTube channel, or his brother has. His twin brother's got a fantastic YouTube channel. I don't know if you know him. It's called Thogden.
Nope, I don't.
Bloody stupid comparison lookalikes when Trafford was playing as a Bolton goalkeeper on loan or something. But James Trafford, Trafford sign. I don't know. I don't know where that's come from. I haven't seen links specifically for Trafford. Whether he is quality,
I know.
is I don't rate him. I really don't rate him much.
well, the thing is, not a lot of people do, and this is the reason why I wanted to ask, was because one thing about it is, it seems to be that with Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea particularly, we're linked with just about everybody. And it's one of those ones where it gets annoying, where sometimes you just want some consistency, if where there isn't any. And like I don't really see it because because apparently I think someone's made a £20 million bid for him, and it's one of those ones where, like, in the media right now, it's, well, Chelsea need to act quickly if they want to sign. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's worse than Robert Sanchez. Why would we want to sign him? Because let's be honest, right? And this is the one thing that still baffles me about Vincent Kompany. I still can't believe that guy got the Bayern Munich job. I still don't believe it. I'm
it's
still
mega
in
minded
disbelief.
Can you see the size of that
crane? Dude, okay, I'm sure everyone can relate to this. When I heard that link, right, about Kompany going to Bayern Munich, you know, one of those days where you think you've woken up in a parallel universe somewhere, and it's just like, excuse me, I beg your pardon. I had to double. You got Burnley relegated from the Premier League, and you get a Bayern Munich job. Jesus Christ, man, these guys need to hire Frank Lampard. The way he teetered with relegation with Everton, man, that's world class. Jesus Christ. We've been linked to Boca as well. Big up, lads, from Leroy, the Fight Week show. Big up, boys. Sorry, I couldn't make your show last night. I was with me missus. Muric is much better than the Burnley keeper. Yeah, I hear you. Scott Carson with better signing in Trafford, says Jaminho.
Well, signing, what was his face? It's not Vitek. It's the other guy that we had on loan at was it Sparta Prague last season? He was on loan there. He was getting game time for us in pre-season, and we were just like, mate, this guy's actually pretty decent, not genuinely pretty decent. So, I mean, even him, well, probably even Vitek as well will probably be a better signing than Trafford.
What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, quality-wise, it would make more sense to bring De Gea back, but it just goes back to the whole thing of what is De Gea an Ineos man? Is he an Ineos signing? Probably isn't. You know, age profile, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. You know, there's one thing that our transfer policies have got in common, is that youth. You know, sign kids. Kids the priority.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know.
So.
Well, actually, no. That's not true. That's not true. They broke the mold this week, bro, when we finally secured the signing of Tosin, didn't we? Because obviously we got Tosin up by the from Fulham, who's 26. I was like, Jesus Christ, they signed an adult.
Now, look out.
Wow.
What's your club news for an official statement saying that somebody got sacked for penning that deal?
He's 26 years of old, man. He's too old. What's wrong with you? Like, I want to know who dreamed that one. And on the Alvarez link, that's the other thing. Okay, strikers, because obviously we've had our say. Because I know we were linked with Trafford, and that's just a horror signing for me. That's Sanchez Mark II. But if anything, I would want Georgie from Valencia. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've known about that guy for a couple of. He's a beast of the size of a man as well. He's a huge guy, and I'm not being funny. One thing about goalkeepers nowadays, I prefer beasts in goal now. You know, guys that could be like just muscle guys out of the way. Sort of like how Thibaut Courtois used to be able to do. He was quite a big guy as well. He could muscle people out of the way.
Oh no, Onana is that. Except sometimes he's just a meathead stuck on a line. Can't get down to save.
Question for you, Fuzzy. Are you on about Kuva from? Are you on about Kuva at Leverkusen now? And he's been looking good.
That's the name, Kovar. Yeah, solid goalkeeper, Kovar. Won't say like anything like great or world class, but solid.
Well, the thing is, realistically, I don't really think. I think Valencia will sell. And we're going to say they signed Dominski for free, so they'll probably sell for a big fee. Well, I'm not being funny. I do think he's worth grabbing, Jaminho, because he is a good goalkeeper. Whether it's one of those ones where, you know, you could. Oh, hang on, Wolfie. Idea title for another show. Wolf whistles. Subject dodgy VAR. Honey, I couldn't do a series of shows that long where I could encompass all the mistakes over the last 3 to 4 years. Georgia or Bolivar or Barker would be a fine deal for a goalkeeper. Well, it depends, deals, because I'm not being funny. And this is the one thing I was going to, the other thing I was going to ask about a striker, but I'll save that. I'll put that on the back burner. The other question I'm going to ask you, and I might as well, is, here you go, bro. Big up Jay as well, man. Big up, my bro. Fernando Torres on there. Big up, bro. Hope you're doing well. But on the, because obviously this year represents the 3-year turnover for a lot of clubs financially, and obviously, even though they made FFP, RAP, RIP, YMCA, whatever way they designate it, right? Obviously, is it your 3-year turnover as well this year? Because obviously, I know that it's not all exactly all the same for one clubs, but is it you can go on a map? Because the idea I got in mind is the reason why they didn't sign any players for Chelsea in January was to make sure that, or last January, I should be more specific, that they didn't want to breach PSR rules. That's it, PSR, whatever it's called, but regulations, and they wanted to play safe because obviously, when it comes to United and Chelsea, we both play dangerous games when it comes to finances. So, but I want to know, like from you, if it is the 3-year turnover, I expect my club to go completely nuts on certain positions and targets. Right, that I will go into in a minute, and we'll talk about Elise as well, and Eze as well, because one thing I will say is I know that there's a links with Eze to some teams, and I think United are one of them. But I'll come back to the second. Are Man United now in a position now that you've got basically 2 boards, one for football operations, one for the main commercial aspects of Man United? Is United in a position now where they can go on a spending spree and get these big players in? Okay, assuming that you maybe make some money back off, like some of the sales you might make. But because I think Sancho is another player you guys can make money off of now. Because even if you guys don't keep him, there's sale potential in there because of what happened with Dortmund, just like with us and Maatsen. So I want to ask you, did you expect big business from Man United this transfer window, or is that a question that you're still wondering yourself with the new setup at United?
I'm probably not so much questioning whether it will be or won't be. I think it's going to be the case that it's not going to be like huge money deals. Well, I mean, most of the targets that we're linked with right now are sort of pushing the sort of spending cap that I think might be in place per signing, but set by the boards rather than by.
Do you mean all clubs do that? Look at Liverpool when they signed Luis Suarez. Oh, sorry, from the World Cup. So that's not a bad idea sometimes.
Yeah, well, yeah, unless you're James Rodriguez. Oh, after that World Cup, he dropped off.
Yeah, arguments. There are arguments. I'll give you that.
But yeah, I'm sort of still thinking that the way in which Ineos run themselves, even if there was the option to go out spending ridiculous amounts of money, it's not in their makeup to do it because they're about efficiency and being economically beneficial, right? Self-sustainable. The money you spend, you want to make sure that it's it's worth it.
Yeah, you want to see return for your investment, of course.
Yeah, good return. Whether that comes in the form of a player being bought to then be sold later on down the line, and maybe United will do that with some academy players, kind of like how Man City do, with like Sir Cole Palmer and various other players. I think Jadon Sancho is another example of that as well. I do feel like that maybe Ineos would look to bring that sort of a system in, but I think in spending money to sort out the first team squad right here, right now, I think they'll probably want to focus on limited spending, but not where it's like it's being neglectful. So like we don't sign this player that we so desperately need because we need to, we need to save more money. It's like, well, no, all of these positions I think are desperate and in dire need of being addressed. We need to sign players here. We need to sort out.
All right, you said dire need. What would be the positions you would say are dire need?
Well, essentially, the spine of the team is probably a big focus. I think with centre backs, we've got Varane that's going out the door. So there's one of your better quality centre backs going. So you need to replace that directly. You've then got backup for Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, two players that have seen a lot more downs than ups since they've been at Manchester United. So those are two other players that, technically speaking, should be on a sell list. So eventually you're going to need to replace them. I think with Johnny Evans, it's just sort of a case that he's there getting a contract extension, apparently, probably just to be as an experienced head in the dressing room, to sort of be there for like morale or to provide sort of know-how for upcoming centre-backs. So guys like Willy Kambwala can have a bit more of a breakout season perhaps, but we still need to have quality brought in to replace what's going out, but to also improve the dynamic in how that defence works in and of itself. The other positions, I think, that do need to be addressed is the balance of that midfield. There's two little players that we have in a defensive capacity that have got the ability to sit back in front of those centre back partnerships and work with a partner in midfield.
Well, do you think is Casemiro still an answer for that, or is it simply a matter of getting rid of him and starting from scratch, or partnering with someone?
I think with Casemiro, it's like a thing. It's like, given his age, how much he's costing the club every week, do you back Casemiro? He had a good first season, one of the best signings that we had last season. Comes into this season, biggest Anthony as well. Comes into this season, and he has had quite a big decline. Whether that's a him problem, whether that's just the environment he's in, whether that's just how fitness management has been at Manchester United with all players, that everybody seems to have regressed a bit. I think that side of the argument's probably just a case of figuring out over time, because if he goes to another club and starts performing like a world-class player again, then it was just probably the case that it was just a bad situation at the club at the time. But there's money there to be had if you do sell him, especially to Saudi Arabia. I'm sure they would pay a relative price for a player of his age and quality. I know market value will probably say, well, that's actually quite a low amount for a player that supposedly still got etchings of world class in his game, in his play style. But I think the biggest factor perhaps with Casemiro going out the door is just for wage sake. With like as you mentioned with PSR, in terms of how much the club is paying for wages, is a massive chunk into how much is being made in the losses category. It's like Man United are generating record revenues. However, the losses are still exceeding the record revenues still. So looking at those, they've got to analyze the monetary side of that and say, but why is that? Look at the players that we've got, how much they're getting paid, compare it to the success that they're achieving on the pitch. Are we maximizing the amount of money that we're generating from competition earnings on the pitch? Is that team doing enough to pay for their existence in the team? Because like media, image, all of that stuff, I think it's like the Glazers and other ownership figures knew that this was going to be a problem. There's like, well, we know we can't, we don't really know how to successfully run a club. So let's say if the success goes away on the pitch, we've got the media, we've got all of these other revenue streams that we can compensate. Mm-hmm. And then it sweeps everything under the rug, because you still make up for big numbers. And then if there's a bit of success on the pitch, then bonus, guys, bonus. What Ineos have got to do is make Man United put the earnings you make from competition and being a successful team at the forefront, because everything else with the commercial side, as long as you can build up the appeal, when
Mhm.
Omar Barada has, the guy coming in from Manchester City, he's already, he's done quite a big job with Manchester City in building that sort of balance between a commercial but also the sporting excellence on the pitch. And he's got to try and do the same thing for Man United. The success on the pitch has got to be
Yeah, you got to
pivotal.
rebuild the brand. Yeah, rebuild the brand. Yeah. I hear
And
what
then
you
the
mean.
commercial side, it's easier to sell, it's easier to grow it because everybody that wants to jump on the Man United bandwagon knows, but Man United is a successful team. So yeah, actually, we'll go with that. We'll sign on the dotted line. So that basically, long story short,
We can only hope, Anthony. We
yeah,
can only hope and pray.
I've already seen that Insta DM. Absolute shithousery. Honestly, maybe I'm not
Roadhouse.
even.
Roadhouse.
I'm not even.
Shithouse.
I'm not even going to lie. I swear to God, if Gareth Southgate's bombing us out in the group stages, I will know exactly why. If he's bombing us out in the group stages, is because he is desperate to get this campaign out of the way so he can get that Man United move. End of discussion. If we finish last place in the groups, he will be Man United manager, guaranteed.
It's just the logic, the cruel logic Fuzzy's using as well. It's just so horrible. You can see it happening as well. That's the worst part.
That's the only thing that I could probably think about, because I know that the guys at Ineos are great at selling a dream, selling projects, right? They got away with words. So they
will be building sandcastles in dream.
Well, yeah, they'll probably build a big sand pit. The Ineos sand pit, petrochemicals companies built the biggest sand pit in the UK.
Oh dear.
We've heard that the team building exercise for Arsenal is going out to Dubai and being fed meat by other men.
Salty beef.
And then you've got Man United team building exercises.
This is getting horrible.
Let's go to the beach, guys. Let's go build some sandcastles.
Oh, mate. Can you imagine that Gareth Southgate standing around a Man United training, telling him, all right, Marcus, if you don't carry on and do your training properly, you're coming out of the sandpit and you can stand in timeout for 20 minutes.
Go sit on the naughty step over there. Yeah, you see that one that's got a weird puddle and it's got all the pigeons sat right above it.
Exactly. You keep this up, you don't get no chocolate after dinner for you if you keep this up. It's ridiculous, man. It's bloody ridiculous. But just on a situation quickly, and Rasmus Højlund. Now, there's been a lot made about strikers. Yes. Salty Whale work wonders for Arteta ball. Now, Danny, you're not supposed to point that out. You're supposed to say how he reinvigorated Arteta, considering he wasn't sure he wanted the job in the first place. That was the funny thing that cracked me up about Arteta. But yeah, on that, strikers, because there's been a lot of hype made about Benjamin Sesko. There was a lot of ramblings about Ivan Toney because of the abysmal second half of the season that he had when he came back. There's been other ramblings about all sorts of players everywhere. Even Alvarez is from City's the latest one to be talked about being pimped out by everybody because he's going to apparently go to Arsenal, Chelsea, or wherever else, right? So, I want to ask you this, right? Where do you see the striker for a situation right now on Højlund and Man United? Is he the future, or is it you guys need more with people like Martial looking to be out the door? Give me the takes.
He's a future player for the club.
Future player, okay.
And the thing is that he was signed last summer to be the star striker, and it's just like, but that doesn't work for us. It doesn't work for us because he's not cut out for that kind of a role at this stage of his career. He still needs to get better first. So we signed unknown potential for ridiculous amounts of money, 70 plus million, and stick him in the starting 11. We're
talking about that We're talking about that now deals. And we're going to talk about the Elise thing as well. So stick around. Sorry, Fuzzy.
So, for me, with this summer coming up, what Højlund desperately needs is an experienced striker in front of him, someone that's more proven, someone that's got great ability that Højlund can learn a thing or two from, that he can benefit from having him, having his presence at the club, but also for competition's sake, because Højlund will desperately be wanting to get into the team. One thing we can't do is just say, well, Højlund is here, still young, he's still got time on his side. Oh, that's fine. We'll just keep rolling with him, but we'll sign other young strikers in the same boat as him, or in even further back in their career, and have that as the pending striking lineup. So I mean, it's not the best way to get the best from players like Højlund. It's just not. You need to provide, a good balance right the way throughout a team. Having just a young striker leading the line for Man United, and that's all she wrote, will not benefit Manchester United, and it will not benefit Højlund. Last season, he had Anthony Martial spending like 90% of the season on the injury table to learn from. Like, the only thing he's going to learn from him is a torn tricep or a torn thigh. He's not going to learn anything football related because he's never there to actually, to help him out for a prolonged period of the season. Guys like an Ivan Toney is ideal, Prem proven. He comes in with the experience. He's got good fitness on his side. Højlund can learn quite a lot from somebody like Ivan Toney. And it's not just in terms of the striking aspect of his game, but everything else he can do on the pitch.
Just about betting, though. Don't ask Ivan Toney about betting. That's the only thing you don't ask him about.
No. Nothing gambling. I know Højlund's a bit of a gamer, so he'll probably still end up getting wrapped up in gambling talk with that guy. So, but that's where I'm sort of sat with the Højlund situation. He needs to have the experience in front of him.
Full thanks, Visceral. Great. Otherwise, thank you for that inspiration there, DJ. Great, much obliged. But yeah, so on the strikers that I've mentioned, like you mentioned Ivan Toney, and I actually think quietly now, because I know this is going to sound bizarre, but with all the Benjamin Sesko links and all that kind of thing, I actually think quietly now that there's so much hype about him, if you could pay maybe now 60 for a Toney, would you take him? Because I'm not being funny, Dick, but as I know, about January time, Brentford was saying 100 million and all this kind of stuff, but there's no way they could charge 100 million on the second half of the season he had. And so
I reckon Ineos could do a deal for less than 60, but whichever is... Now, for argument's sake, let's say Arsenal end up signing Sesko for like 65 mil or something, and Man United were to do a deal for Ivan Toney, get him for 60 or even subpar 60. Football fans right the way throughout the Premier League, which signing are they looking at and saying that's a better signing for what the respective squad needs?
Well, for us, it'd be Toney, actually, because we've already got a young striker in Jackson. So
yeah, so it's like, well, with Man United signing Ivan Toney, not only would it make sense to do so it might be worth, even if it is about 60 mil, it's still a logical signing to make, and it fits for what that strike force needs. Whereas if you got, for example, like a Benjamin Sesko, if United went signing Sesko for 65 mil, you're signing another Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah, you're essentially
literally
the
same player, same type of player. No one really benches the other because one is better than the other. It's just whoever's maybe trained the best that week. But that's not how you should be making your decisions. It's which is the best player that fits what that team needs. And if you've got two of the same type of striker, then you can't change your game plans. Ivan Toney can have United playing a certain way. You sub him off, bring Højlund on for the last 20 minutes of a game. Hey, look, you can change to your plan B/plan C. and it's a different type of striker up top that the opposition's got to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
balance,
I
isn't
think,
it? Like you said about different kinds of options. Yeah,
so yeah,
Højlund
for
and
me,
Cisco are in the same mold. Yeah, I do agree
so
with you
yeah,
there,
for
100%.
me, a signing like an Ivan Toney, it not only makes sense, but probably would end up being a better return for the wider perspective, rather than it being a case of just.
Hang on, 1 second, Fuzzy. I disagree with you, this Danny boy, and the pure reason why I disagree with you is because I don't think he was a flop. He had his problems in his first season at Chelsea. I believe he deserves a second one because when I see him play, often enough, he could make a difference. So, and besides, I always remember what happened with Ivanovic when we signed him, and for 6 months that guy didn't even play, and eventually. In the following season or two that he started getting into the team, he was the best right back in the Premier League, to be honest, for me, because other than maybe Mr. Irwin that played for them guys at left back, because I'm a bit Ivanovic was of that mold. He was big, he was strong, he was technical, and he could be quick. So I think Nkunku deserves more time, and I'm not being funny. It's not like we haven't got enough players to play around him because we've got Detro Fofana and them lot coming back. So we've got a lot of options.
My thoughts with Nkunku is that he's just been too injured this season, but every time he's played, he's been the better performing player on the pitch to an individual basis. It's if Nkunku's available for most of that season, Chelsea probably have a much better points accumulation.
Probably, because he is a good player. He's a very talented player, and he's very versatile because he can play left, right, centre, attacking mid. I think he's a player we need to get a bit more out. I think he deserves more time. Now, on the Elise front, because there's been a lot of hype about this guy recently.
Yeah.
But as well, I want to bring, and I do agree with you, by the way, about Alvarez because Alvarez is already proven. And I think maybe he can score more goals, but I don't want the next Gabriel Jesus. That's the only thing that worries me about Alvarez. I don't want the next Gabriel Jesus. So, but
sort of has the same. I'm not going to lie. Pep has sort of used him the same way that he used Jesus in his Man City team.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason why this guy can't. And I'm not being funny. Realistically, you're going to have to be a monster to dislodge Haaland anyway. So, but on at the Elise front now, because obviously there's been a lot of gas about him recently. Right? Do you see any? Because me personally, because he sits, I wouldn't mind Elise at Chelsea for more bodies, but at the same time, because I know we need midfielders. Because in the day, long story short, I know for a fact we had literally Enzo, Caicedo, and Connor, and that was it in midfield. Essentially, last year, well, Lavia was as injury prone, by the way, as Nkunku, because neither of them started a match. So I think we need bodies in that midfield. Now, but would you take Eze as well? Because you guys need like players in those sort of positions to replace like the Martials and stuff. Give me your whole take on that situation.
Well, as an Eze and an Elise, both
one or... Well, put it this way: whatever you make of both players. If you could take two. If you want one, take one. Does it one or the other? Give me your take on the whole thing. Because Crystal Palace did have that mad resurgence at the end of last season, which was kind of strange.
Yeah, I mean Glasner balls. It did guys like an Eze and Elise a lot of favours because it's a lot more of a play style that is more focused on them and their talents. So Elise, I think, is probably the more favourable talent-wise. I suppose it's just a case it's another Man City academy prospect as well, because that's where Elise came from. But I think with Elise being such a high demand at the moment for a player, and I did mention this on my show last night, that if you are Elise, with the amount of clubs that could be coming in for you this summer, the ball is entirely in your court, and it's not like Palace have to accept any fees. Palace, there's a release clause there, so literally clubs can spam the release clause, absolutely spam the release clause, and Elise can just sit there and just be like, well, I'm just going to wait and see just how many clubs come in for me, leave it to the last couple of weeks of the transfer window and say, okay, I'm convinced that I've got all the best offers on the table, I want to pick that one.
Bosh.
And then and then the club get the club sign Elise, they get their man. Elise gets what he wants, and Palace get about 50 to 60 million in the bank. So I mean, most if not all parties can be happy from that. With Eze, I mean, again, another attacking, creative element. Again, Man United need some creativity. You know, more service to the number 9 instead of isolating him.
Are we worried about City, by the way? Because City might be thinking about replacing Haaland soon. Not Haaland, sorry, De Bruyne, sorry.
De Bruyne. Well, I mean, with Man City, you probably won't see their intention until it's like right upon the day in which they want the player and sign him. Because I think the turnaround from Man City identifying a player, usually the turnaround from them identifying a talent to getting him into the club, usually is relatively short, period of time. And they don't like to build, like journalism doesn't like to build hype around City targeting 5 million different players every single transfer window. It's just they pick and choose and they just execute the signing like that.
One second. Plus he's good looking. We should protect the innocent. Donna, my nickname is Robocop. Serve the public trust, uphold the law, and protect the innocent is one of Robocop's mantras. Don't worry about it, man. No one is in danger here. Don't worry about that. Fuzzy will look after himself as well. He's a big boy. Sorry about that, Fuzzy. Sorry, the chat's interesting. Sorry, the chat over here is quite interesting because I'm listening. I am paying attention to everyone's and listening to you, of course, but it's quite funny what's taking place. Sorry.
Well, long story short, my real name isn't Cyril.
No, it's Marcus Rashford.
Oh fuck! Sorry, got to put out another statement. This guy online has called me out as being called Marcus Rashford. Right? Send that to John Cross. Happy days. Press release in about 2 hours. Watch this space, people.
Yeah, cool. You see him in the back of the Times like this.
See me on the back. I'll see you on the back page. A picture of you as like one of those shocked, suddenly captured mugshots. Where it's just like, no. Probably have that hidden on the back page. Either one of those, or you sat in your orange jumpsuit.
I'll be distracting you. No, ma'am, you're making me giggle. But I just wanted to reassure Donna that when Fuzzy's on my channel, he's perfectly safe and he's in a perfectly safe space. What is Fuzzy's real name? Wiggles McFluffy Top.
It's true that. My real name is Wiggles.
Big up Wiggles. Thank you for
His
coming
real
on,
name's
Wiggles.
Tractor.
Yeah. On the back of the tractor. But I just say my last name first and your first name last. All that last. All right.
I got a combine or a wrister and I'll give you the key.
I'm going down the fields today, Fozzie. You would like to come and help me, mate? Have a nice sandwich. We've all seen Wolfie's sex face. What the fuck? What are you on, DJ Craig? Wait. Is it a sex face or a mugshot? Because I'm not like... anyway, Alberta Fuzzmaster. Even Freud might say he has issues. But anyway, back onto the Eze thing. Sorry, you were saying.
But yeah, with Eze, he's another player of creativity. So again, it's a viable target for Man United, basically. And I'm sure if with Eze, he's going to be... If the Elise deal happens sooner, Eze will be the next one that everyone goes start raving mad about.
Yeah, I hear you.
And if Elise deal drags out, people might just think, well, Eze's the alternative, so let's entertain a deal there and see what Palace say. Let's put some feelers out there. Would United benefit from Eze being in the team? In a creative aspect, yeah, it would benefit. But
all right, that sounds like comes with a catch. That sounds like that comes with a catch for you. What's the catch for you? Tell me, because I like your mindset and your viewpoint. So what's the catch there for you?
The catch here with Eze in the team is that we've already said with the balance of midfield, somebody who's got a good defensive element to their game, someone who's good to partner in Kobbie Mainoo. Let's say, for argument's sake, Casemiro's leaving the club and we don't re-sign Amrabat. There's not really a player there that's good defensive, for defensive coverage. Eze is not really going to be a player that solves that part of the issue. And having creativity in the midfield is good. It's nice. We like to have a bit of creativity in midfield. Our biggest problem, though, is that you've got one focal point creator in that team, which is Bruno. He occupies all of that space. If you've got an Eze in that team with Bruno Fernandes in the system that we play, Eze is going to be cancelled out by Bruno. Bruno's going to be cancelled out by Eze. It's like with Mason Mount. He plays more forward in the midfield. He gets more in a creative aspect, but they both cancel each other out a bit.
I don't know. Why do you think I'm a lawyer? Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I hear what you mean. They cancel each other out.
And the biggest problem for United with creativity is it's not actually the centre that we struggle with creativity. It's actually in the wide positions.
Yeah.
Because all our wingers care about is
inside forwards. They're not wingers, they're inside forwards.
Yeah, get within 30 yards, get a nosebleed and think, I've got to shoot. And most of those shots end up in Rosette. So
Garnacho is the only one I would actually say is truly effective, though, other than maybe Rashford on these days.
The credit that I give Garnacho is that he always likes to try different things. He's not just one-dimensional. He doesn't try to be so perfect with one thing. And I suppose because he keeps trying to do that, some days it works out fantastically. Other days it looks quite shit. Like in terms of his performance, he actually can have quite piss poor games.
Hit and miss is the expression.
But at least with that, when he performs on a good day, he gives the team everything it needs in that wide position.
Yeah.
And it benefits the team, so that's what we're all here for. We haven't got that sort of play on the right.
And McTominay, I know you don't like him, obviously, the midfield. He still provides that midfielder balance, but he still contributes goals. So, yeah, what? I don't know. With the McTominay, are you going to get rid of him, or still, or is that another one?
I want us to get rid of him because you sell McTominay, somebody out there giving, for some reason, for the love of God, some people out there just love him in the professional world of football. Like from a professional standpoint, people out there just love him. But with Man United's perspective, you sell him, it's just pure profit because he's an academy prospect.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
And I think for me, that's probably the one place where you look, because if FFP are ever looking in your direction, you sell an academy prospect for good money, FFP would sort of go from carry on. They don't really pay any close attention to how it is you're getting players out of your club, but then bringing other players in.
Wait, is your name Hot Fuzz or Sam Allardyce? Imagine they don't look too closely. All right, Big Sam. big chin.
Massive chin.
Very massive chin for Big Sam. But yeah,
Big Sam.
So, I'm not being funny, right? Because obviously it's been an hour. So what I'm going to ask quickly is, who do you expect out? Because the whole Elise Eze thing to me is, I wouldn't mind bodies, but the thing is, because I know they both can be played wide and centrally, I don't really know which one is which. What would you say Eze is as a fixed position? A central attacking midfielder or a winger?
Eze is more central for me.
What about Elise? More winger than central? Because he can play in both, really.
Elise started more centrally. He was literally in the same position that Eze was, but he's then sort of, whilst playing in the team with Eze there, Wilfried Zaha played out on the left. Eze was occupying that middle position. What better way than getting an attacking mid?
Anthony, of course he's hot fudge. Have you seen what he's doing to Donna right now? Hot fudge, mate. He is the good stuff. Look, you look very innocently beautiful to me. It's the hot fudge, let alone the hot fuzz. Come on, he's sweet like chocolate. What are you talking about? Sorry.
But for me, Elise sort of became a wider player because Eze was in the team occupying the central position. So I think because he's played out wide or sort of been forced out wide to occupy the space or to allow Eze into the team, he's actually benefited with the type of player he is, because he can operate centrally, but he can also be effective on in the wide positions. So having a player again with versatility, I'm surprised that Arsenal are not completely all over this guy, because versatile. To me,
buzzword.
Yeah, buzzword. Watch out.
Take a shot. Big up Lee Gunner.
For me, Eze is like, if you're buying him for as you said, more of a fixed position. If you're buying Olise, you're getting him with the potential for options. Like you there's various different things you can do with the player.
Would you take both?
To be honest, I would. And if Eze doesn't get into the team ahead of Bruno, then wow, good bench option.
Wait, on him actually, Bruno. How much longer do you see him being at United?
Well, he's pushing for a new contract, and he's got some demands. Ineos don't agree with his demands, so one's got to give. So for me, it's a little boy. What's that?
That's. You know what I mean? Even my missus just said that as well, looking behind me, and I just read it. It's just like, Missus, you can invite this little boy more often. Who the fuck are you talking? He ain't no little boy. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Little boy, please be respectful and mindful of my guests, please, and how you address them, because it's funny, but it's also a little bit a pinch of disrespectful. So please word that better, please. What do you mean? That doesn't help. That doesn't make it any better. Wording, people.
Well, I may look quite small on here, but I'm just shy of 6 foot. Well, I'm about 6 foot actually.
Well, you're dinky. You're dinky then. Fuzzy is Ghost Rider. Look deep into his eyes. Big up Mus Wolfie. Oh, says DJ Crane. Oh, yeah, she just cracked up behind me, by the way, just laughing. When I say cracked up, I meant laughing, not she didn't fall apart and just break into bits on the floor.
Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah. All the King's forces and all the King's men couldn't put Mus Wolfie back together again. And I'll keep rephrasing. Young man. I'm going to call him a young man. Play at my football club, son. Hello, Kate, says Mama Flossie. Hiya, she says.
I'll agree with Donna's sentiment about young boy if I had the Lingard syndrome. I'll probably get to the age of 40 and everyone's just like, oh, look at him, he's so young, he's so adorable.
Oh, right, when you said about Jesse Lingard, I thought you were about being like proper metrosexual and all that, Alan. Jesse.
Oh, no. The Lingard syndrome, like everyone just constantly keeps calling him the young prospect or prodigy, despite him being practically on his 30s. And it's like, this makes no sense. The guy's practically older.
Yeah. When they said prodigy, they meant that we're going to send you to outer space to find another race. We're going to send you. If you know, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, other races, they see one picture or TikTok from Jesse Lingard, they'll definitely avoid planet Earth. So no, you can keep him. We ain't probing that. You can keep him.
Sorry, mummy. She's sitting there behind me laughing her ass off. Sorry, I apologise for that. She's actually giggling and immensely behind me because of what she's hearing. So, yeah, but yeah, you're right. I think even the Simpson aliens would take the piss out of Jesse Lingard and piss off. He's an adorable young man. That just reminds me of Harry Enfield now. Young man. But yeah, I'd like to thank Hot Fuzz for his time, because obviously I've taken an hour of it, and obviously I don't want to ruin the guy's Saturday too much. Shout out your channel, Fuzzy.
Yeah, follow me, Hot Fuzz 44 OG. Created a link to this show on the on my channel feed. So everybody that's come over from over here, come over to here from there, then big thank yous to those of you that have joined us. Make sure that you have smashed up a like, and if you are watching on the playbacks, that you keep on doing so with all of that good stuff. Subscribe to Wolfgang Division on the road to 200. How many is it now? Is it 16 away? 16 away from 200?
I think so.
184. I'm about 19 away myself, so we're closing in.
184, yep.
Closing in, we're getting there. If we can get both of our channels hitting 200 across the summer, lovely stuff. And be a big thank yous to everybody who watches and tunes into the streams. So a big thank you, and also a big thank you to Wolfie for the invitation onto the show. It's been a pleasure.
I think according to Donna, you just hit 143. Here you go. I've subscribed to you. She might even sing for you.
Well, Donna, my birthday comes up in sort of end of July time, so if you like to practice your singing now, start practicing, right? Because I want
happy birthday to you.
I want you to at least get to a quality level of an X Factor audition.
I think she's at an X Factor level audition, to be honest. Is
that the one that doesn't make the cut?
Yeah, exactly.
You get said no about 4 times.
You know the one Simon Cowell's like, no, I'm not having this shit on my side.
So she starts personally offending Simon Cowell. Yeah. So she like goes after it.
Oh dear. Well, I tell you what.
Yeah, thanks for a subscription anyway, Donna.
I'll commission this. I'll see if I can get. I'll post a poll later on my channel. See, anyone can sign it to see if we can get Hot Fuzzy a birthday present by getting Yeti to appear in a mankini. Or Anthony.
You don't have any poles for him to dance on, so you have to grab him a tree.
If not, we can always send him back to his cave. But anyway, big up everyone. Fuzzy can't wait, Donna. There you go. You leave him alone. Anthony, you're a wind-up much. You leave him alone. Great streamers always. Big up DJ Crane. Oh my days, says
I think she's just got the image in her head.
Wait,
getting a mankini doing a pole dance on a tree.
I'm off to end the stream and have horrific nightmares later. I'm an X Factor level, but X is in a different type of X. Yeah, she means on a keyboard.
I thought you meant the platform on the Elon Musk platform.
Oh, formerly Twitter. I meant Twitter. I'll bring my tractor. All right, no, not for the Fate.
Yeah, sorry. This show's just been age restricted. I've just been warned by YouTube creators that are just like, yeah, guys, turn that dial down a bit.
Well, have they? Because I did mine not for kids. I was about to say, like, I never stream for children in mine, man. Like, this ain't children in need. This is Wolfie in need.
They put a restriction on it. It's just like, if you're fucked up, this show's for you.
You know what? I know this is awfully childish of me, but I said happy. I thought she said happy meet Hot Fuzz. Lucky it was happy to meet you, Hot Fuzz. I was just about to say massive pause there. Massive pause. But anyway, and a big shout out to Fuzz. Yeti, by the way. I know we were making jokes about him a minute ago, but big up to Yeti as well, the long haired one.
Yeah.
If you haven't, drop the guy a like and a subscribe as well. Good dude, I get on with him. So yeah, but Fuzzy, thank you for your time. It's been a lot of fun as usual. It's been a while actually. I know you were wanting to watch along. Night, Mr. Simon. Night, John Boy. Where is my big shout out? Well, I did shout you out, Donna. I was going to shout out everybody. Like, don't worry, relax.
Your chats have been pretty much, a self shout out, anyways.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You've been the focus of the chat.
Of the show.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Mama Flossie. But anyway, big up to Mama Flossie, Anthony, Donna, Steph, who was there earlier, of course. My missus, who's been giggling in the back. Deals, obviously. Big up, brother. I hope you're well. Again, a shout out to Danny as well, who's in QQ comments and stuff like that. Big up everyone that's been out as well. And another big shout out to JPT. Obviously, my boy's having his honeymoon. Hope that's all well. And big up shout out to as well to my boy Terence Bolello, who last night secured his cruiserweight belt. So big up to the Black Panther as well. Well done on his W. I hope he's all well and good. Jay as well, Jaminio as well. Everyone that's been in. And thank you very, 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 very much. And unless there's anything we can say. Oh, here you go. Donna says bye, Kate.
Bye.
There you go. Thank you for that, Donna. Big up. But anyway, thank you, everyone. Stay safe. And we are out of here, people. Stay